I bumped into a very complicated problem that I need a solution. And it's a life-changing problem, to be honest. Just to understand a single constant number. You wouldn't think is constant, but it's very much constant, and not much you can do about it. I mean, everyone heard of 20% margin that shops put on their prices, right? But I looked into that and I got the number 40% instead. And it's just now confusing to me. I want to get the exact percentage because I feel that's what I need to solve this problem. What my problem is, let's say this dude, Noxious, refers to a game, recommends me a game, and, you know, I like the game to some degree. Maybe I don't even like the game. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. What matters is that I discovered that game thanks to this person, and in a way, it's almost like that is you attempting to make your own community around yourself by referring to things that, the other person wouldn't think exist at all, but you did it. And that's fantastic. So, if I believe in this person, and there's no community of its own to separate itself, no, too complicated. So yeah, we have Noxious. He has to actually refer to something completely new, to a completely new concept, and that would make that he is influenced by, okay, not the other way around. When you're referring to something, you're not doing this. You're doing this, but you're pointing an arrow into an arrow. You're just highlighting an arrow. You're not pointing this way, unfortunately. Because you're being influenced. And you're gonna get that percentage of influence because at some point you discovered this thing, and you're gonna let, well, other people discover it, potentially. If you talk about it. If you don't talk about it, the highlight never happens, and you're just influenced, but nobody cares about this arrow. I don't care. But that's how it works. Noxious talked about Rogue Legacy. I played it. He gets some kind of percentage. And I don't know what that value is. I even had that problem yesterday. Technically, it's still no, it's definitely yesterday now. When Ariana and Selena was fighting, I'm like, I'll do 5% on helping me discover certain people like Jeanette McCurdy and Vanessa Hutchins. I discovered them through the fact that Ariana and Selena were really popular, and first I had to discover them and investigate their lives, and then there have been in certain shows or movies, and then you discover the other people because of that. So it's very interesting. What is that number? Because it feels like it doesn't matter how big the reference is. The fact that you're following a person and that person bumps into another thing and it helps you discover that other person is almost like you're tracing steps and you going into different path all of a sudden. It's such a crazy concept, man. Tracing, boys. Entity tracing. Ooh, what game do you play? Oh, this game. Now, with Hearthstone, it's a little bit interesting, but still, there's a bunch of content creators, right, that have a potential to refer you to Hearthstone, but there's only gonna be one that will be successful for you personally. So, influence tracker is my personal thing. I'm not here tracking like the actual influence of someone. No, I'm tracking from my perspective, the influence of other people. Unfortunately, yeah, and this is one of those my perspective things 100% now. There's nothing you can do about this one. Because there's going to be only one creator out of this entire community that will refer me to the community itself. Alright? And I will have to be grateful for that person, for that middleman, to be able to advertise and be confident about the community that he belongs in. If you make 100% of content in this community, I consider you linked 50%. This number is pretty much set in stone. I'm probably not going to change it. You can still question it to some degree, but I don't want to. But what I do want to question is the reference number. Alright, what do you get for helping people discover something else? Alright, what do you get from that thing? So I've been trying to investigate this, and so far I come with 0 conclusions. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of my journey in case I actually complete it. But then I would have released this video, and so it has a probably positive ending, I hope. It's almost like, well, I'm supposed to make a face reveal video, but then I don't reveal the face. Am I just trolling? I'm not the person to troll around like that. Fuck you, dude. So I said like boundaries, right? What feels right? It has to be somewhere between 5 and 30%. 5 seems a little bit too small. Because it's like, but that person literally exists on my list because of you. So you should get some kind of piece of cake as well. Like, it really matters. And people have to do this job seriously because they're going to get a serious benefit for referring into things. You almost have to do nothing, just explore and refer. And that's the greatest thing about life, dude. If I discover something as big as Hearthstone, alright, what are you gonna get for 5% of Hearthstone itself? Now, I don't remember who referred me to Hearthstone, to be honest. I really don't. I know my friend referred me to Minecraft, but I kind of forgot about it, and I don't care about it anymore, and we're not friends anymore as well. So, I'm just gonna, brush the dead body under the carpet and hope it doesn't smell too bad when it rots. But normally, yes, I would still give the significant portion. I still don't know what that number is, though. So the raw value of Hearthstone is 109 hundreds. 10,000. No, it's fine. 109 hundreds. It matters because it's 109 for every 1%. That means it's 550 for 5%. And that is significant, but Hearthstone is ridiculously significant, and 5% feels like a joke. If someone actually introduced me to Hearthstone and said, like, look, this is the greatest card game, you have to play this. And I don't know who did it, but he deserves a lot of points. For fuck's sake. He deserves to be just as big as one of the biggest. We're getting somewhere, actually. We're getting somewhere, finally. I thought this is kind of like a breakthrough moment. So let's look into who are the biggest people in this community. This is the only community that I know of, that I'm a part of, and I spend enough time in. TikTok is not a community, unfortunately. Even though it's big, it's not a community because there's so many people in this community that it doesn't make sense to call it a community. It's more of a, I don't know, random content generator. I don't know what it is, man. Or it's a town square. Would you call town square a community? It kind of feels different. But if I discover a big person in the town square, I will still give TikTok 50% because it's still a community, unfortunately. Every single entity is technically a community. It's just you don't get 50% necessarily unless that entity, that other entity that's linked to you, this link is 50% because this person, this entity is actually working 100% towards being a part of this community and pretty much nothing else. Not a part of any other community, which sucks. It kind of sucks, but like this stuff exists and I have to acknowledge this stuff exists and people actually have a maximum score, which is remarkable, but that's dedication. And yeah, people sometimes run away and do something else potentially, but sometimes when they run away, they're not valuable anymore because they don't produce content that I want to watch. So I just keep it at 50% because I never actually discover any other things that they're doing interesting. So it's a very interesting dynamic, as you can tell. Again, if you dilute this and you become a part of different communities, this is not 50% anymore. This is not dedication. But the reason why it's not 100% is because you have to be able to be bigger than the community itself somehow. Somehow, some way, bigger than the community. Yes, you can belong to different communities and that will help you a lot. But you must understand that, you know, a lot of your growth is going to be also growing the community as well. So you have to be able to detach yourself somehow. And some people don't want to leave in order to detach. But you kind of have to. So, I don't know. 50% is still debatable. But I put it at 50% and I'm happy about it. But this number, I'm not happy about it. Alright? Because it's also inconsistent in my work in general. I believe this is actually constant value. Inconsistent, I guess. It's this almost the same word with the same meaning. Meaning that if someone refers to something and it helps you discover that thing, it doesn't matter how they did it, because the discovery is just that spark that turns on the light, that sets something on fire. It's like it happened and now it's on fire and now it's burning. It's a completely new definition and it doesn't fucking matter how you did it. So we just need the question of what is the value of that spark, basically. And most importantly, as I've said, the spark, every single spark has the same exact value because it has the same exact result of setting something on fire. It's unbelievable principle that we just discovered. The connection between reference and fire itself. What the fuck is this shit? So yes, someone who refers you to Hearthstone is probably the biggest, is equivalent to the biggest Hearthstone person you know. Right? Is that fair? Or is 5% good enough? Because to me, it feels like 5%. Because, like, it is. If you like Hearthstone that much, then you have to do something with it. You have to make a channel. You have to make Hearthstone videos. And most importantly, you have to continue referring to play Hearthstone. Because, yes, I might pick up Hearthstone and I play for one day, but then you have to actually continue doing that. In fact, yes, you get the initial urge to discover something, but you might need help in order to stay motivated to be a part of this community. And motivating factors also are important, and I do acknowledge them, by all means. See, the funny thing is, it doesn't matter how many Hearthstone videos you make, Hearthstone itself is not going to collaborate with you, specifically. It's a very weird dynamic. Most of the creators can collaborate with each other, but Hearthstone itself does not collaborate with creators. So Hearthstone itself will not give value to people unless you motivate other people to try out your deck, to try out your creation. Then you're collaborating with Hearthstone. It's a very interesting thing that happens. It's also a very interesting dynamic how YouTube actually has to put in a lot of work, almost similarly to how shops need to put in a lot of work in order to refer you to products that you can buy to get that profit thing. But, and it's probably YouTube splits 50-50 with the creators. I don't know right now. I should look up to that. But if so, I still wouldn't give 50%, by the way, of value for reference. But YouTube is a platform where YouTube has to refer to creators and help them grow and be relevant to other people. That's the whole goal. But again, that's what we get. We get around 50%. And it's kind of weird. But then that's the whole point, because they receive 50% and not you. Huh. That's an interesting way to put it. That's kind of fucking weird. Because you're dedicated to YouTube, so they're the ones receiving 50%, but you're not gonna receive 50%. Because think about it this way. YouTube is a platform. They will take 50% from you. Alright? You're gonna have 50% left. Not that they gonna give you 50%. That's not how it works. Alright? They will take 50% from you. They have the ability to do that as an authority. Alright? And every single community will work the same way. They will take 50% from you. Yeah, it's a little bit different how it works. Maybe it's even counterintuitive, but they take 50% because you're dedicated, so you must invest in the community that you're dedicated to. It's a completely different reasoning than it's just like, oh, YouTube also has to profit from your work because they refer other people to your work. No, it's a platform that's completely different. People have already discovered YouTube, and YouTube not necessarily helps people discover creators, other creators. It's not really a thing. And YouTube can't really do that with an algorithm either. It's very difficult for YouTube to do that. And even if they did it with an algorithm itself would be a completely separate entity from YouTube. I would treat it as such because I would interact with the algorithm, and the algorithm is going to be like, oh, you should check out this creator. And I'm going to be thankful to the algorithm and not YouTube. Even though YouTube is going to be a part of the system as well. But it's a weird thing. Just very complicated. So yeah, then the question is, because we're getting very close, I very much appreciate the Hearthstone community for existing and answering this tremendously important question for everyone else to be able to get the reference points they actually deserve. Alright? I think 5% is legit, to be honest, which sucks ass. Like, no shop is gonna put up a 5% margin. But what if it's 5% profit margin? How about that? In fact, what if every single person would be paid for what they need, first of all, and then you figure out that margin, and then you figure out what they deserve. Because everyone deserves like an equal pay almost for being a part of the community. So first you figure out the profits. Well, you figure out the needs. You split the profits for the needs. Because like a manager would need a lot more money to run the company, while the worker just needs to survive. It's a completely different needs. So once you take care of the needs, then you can split evenly the deserved, because you deserve the money, you deserve an equal split because you're part of the a part of this ecosystem in general. I think it should be equal. It's almost like sunshine. Sunshine is fucking equal to everyone. Use it while you can, dude. Here you go, this is how I say it. Whew, this is a tough one, man. Holy shit. I knew I was getting myself into deep ass. Alright, I have no idea how long this video is gonna be, but I'm discovering things that I didn't even expect. But honestly, now every single video I'm making, I have no idea how crazy it is until it actually happens. So now I'm just motivated, I guess. I don't know, man. Motivated to get my mind blown every single time I do anything, you know? Am I in a fucking middle of minefield? Every single move is just gonna turn into an explosion? Fuck yeah, dude. And it hurts too, so I guess it works. Cause nobody actually cares. That's why it hurts. Fucking assholes. Click on my video and watch it. Thank you for watching. It sucks. But I do have to recognize everyone is trying to survive. Everyone feels like, oh, YouTube is the greatest opportunity of all time. But at the same time, you have to provide so much value and outcompete so many people. You have no idea how many people you have to outcompete. Have I shown you guys this thing? Wait. I'll show you guys. There's a channel, 6 years old. Guess how many subscribers he has? 101. Look at this.
Ever since I started my first business in my mid-20s.
He's so motivated to make these videos and get barely any views. It's unbelievable. Does he have even more views than I do? No. I think I have... I forgot how many views I have. I just forgot. No. Oh shit, this is even worse. This is 500 views for a subscriber. This is rock bottom, dude. Holy shit, I think I have like 40,000. Almost exactly. Like, this stuff is sad. Obviously, this stuff is also very boring and not clickable at all. because it's just random and confusing and complicated. And I don't like to do that. But he has been doing this for 6 years. But still, he did not upload as many videos as I did in just this 1 year. I do recognize that it takes time for people to discover you. That's fine. But at the same time, if you look here, you will see that I have reached my peak. And this month is going to be a terrifying realization that reaching 35 hours is difficult even if you upload a video a day. Alright? Still fucking difficult. I don't know, man. I feel violated. But it is what it is, man. People hate you. Well, come to my Discord and hate me actively, dude. I wonder how it will feel like when I have all the power and you just have hate, you know. There's a difference. But all people hate you, but I have all the power. Prove me wrong. But they hate you. Hatred is so powerful. Prove me wrong, dude. I will allow you to hate me as long as you want, as long as I'm not offended too much, you know. And I don't want to kick your ass. And still, I would still probably respect you to some degree. Like, you're trying to talk to me, you're trying to hate me, you're trying to do something, it's funny, I'll spin you around like a fucking clown, whatever. It's the most amazing thing. I don't know why I complain about this thing in the middle of a concept that is not relevant to this idea, but it is what it is. I'm sorry, guys. I'm insecure. What can I say, dude? Maybe I am potato. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm referring to potatoes and you're going to eat more potatoes and you're going to give me that reference value, sweet reference value for eating potatoes. But again, motivation is also important. Who keeps you motivated also contributes to towards the same value. Almost like reintroducing you to the same concept. It's possible. It's kind of mind-blowing. But what has to happen, you must now detach from that thing and be reintroduced, re-inspired. Which has never happened to me before. Have I ever detached from something? But then it's like, that value is going to be very small, because reigniting the fire is actually easier for some reason than initially igniting the fire. I don't know why, but if we're talking about inspiring people, it's a lot easier if you have already been inspired to just motivate you again. You know. Well, you have been doing drugs back in the past, right? And they were pretty good. It's time for relapse, boys. Yeah, it's a lot easier. I'm just saying. But I was trying to be clean. No, it's drugs time. But there's a huge difference between a person who first introduced you to drugs and a person who just re-inspired you to take drugs. Completely huge difference, okay? Discovery is so much more valuable. But at the same time, again, if you just take a random person and he would take 5% of Hearthstone, I think that's enough. You get 500 points? Let's see what 500 points looks like. Top. I believe it's 150? Am I correct? Exactly. I'm exactly there. Right here, 500 points, boys. So there are people who have reached 500 points, blood, sweat, and tears. But in actuality, it's not that difficult. It took me just to 3 hours to play a game, but my system is broken right now. I don't trust my system anymore after this happened. But 3 hours, well, alright, so 500 points. 500 points is... And again, I can't just look at the shops and pretend that it's going to be, yes, 20%, because that's what I heard of, but then I looked into data and it's 40%. Let me try and look into it again and prompt Google to tell me that it's 20% anyways. Just, I'll force Google to tell me that. I want to see what happens. But the reason why I heard 20% is probably because the grocery shops or shopping centers have lesser percentage of margin than the other shopping places, but then it's like, who cares? Isn't like the shopping malls the biggest thing ever? Fuck, I need more data on this shit. This is important, but more of as a reference point to compare the number that I will get very soon from other means. I do have friends, and I will link my friend to Minecraft. I will do it because I appreciate. If I didn't discover Minecraft, like it would have probably changed my life significantly. Not only they introduced me to Minecraft, they introduced me to AdventureCraft. So, or he introduced me. My best friend, my ex-best friend. Well, too bad that relationship kind of went south, but he still exists. Even in my Discord, he still exists as the shit lord. I guess Minecraft is shit, because now it's too popular, and technically I would have discovered Minecraft anyways, which makes me very annoyed by this concept, because Minecraft is almost like an exception. Fuck, right? If something becomes so big that you would have discovered it anyways, there's no escape whatsoever, then what do you do with that discovery thing? But the problem is, again, because you discovered it, it doesn't matter how you did it, it changes your life how you discovered it significantly, because it changes what do you do next, and how you relate to your friend because of that. It does change quite a few things, I think. So I do believe it's more than 5%, simply because I believe the value of introducing me to Hearthstone would be very similar as being a constant Hearthstone creator in general. Alright. You kind of feel as being as a creator you are introducing people to Hearthstone, but that's probably not true. Mostly probably happens through friendships, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. But yeah, like you could do even both things. You can introduce people to drugs and motivates people to take more drugs. Alright, you could do both things. And that would be separate values. Introduction has its own constant values. We figured it out. I didn't explain you why exactly, but trust me, okay? Just trust me on that one. Because I forgot why, but I know that I can trust myself at least. So, yeah, and that motivating factor is a separate value, which is fine. So what is the average for a Hearthstone creator? Because it's higher than 500, but 500 is 8 hours. If I discover Hearthstone, unfortunately, I will play for fucking 100 hours. I would give a person 100, so that's 6,000. And it's impossible because Hearthstone itself only has 10,000 points. Alright, so it's not 100 hours. Which is awkward. But it's still true. It's not 100 hours. So, but 8 hours seems like nothing. Like if you introduced into something, for how long you have to play to fully understand it and become a part of the community and start exploring a wider thing. It's almost like this is the time where it takes for you to detach from whoever influenced you to check Minecraft or this new thing or a movie. You have to detach from that person. But at the same time, what if that person is actually acting in the movie? But it's kind of still the same thing because you're still trying to detach by exploring other people who are in the movie. So let's say I'm watching Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is my favorite movie, obviously. And I will not stop saying that. So let's say I like Anna Kendrick and I follow her in the movie. But then there's a lot of other girls or some guys who made some cool movies. Or like the main hero is the guy, the Scott. So I might watch his movies. As I'm expanding my circle, I'm technically leaving Anna Kendrick alone with whatever she did in her life. Technically, I just only care about the movie now. But still, the question is how much influence she was able to collect this whole time. How many hours that I had to spend to detach myself? Because 8 hours might be a good start. But then you detach a little bit, then you detach even more, and you slowly, let's say 20 hours. Well, 20 hours is 2.5 times 5. 12%? I would like, obviously, 10%. Is 12% good enough? Or 15%? Because it's very difficult to detach from something. You know. We have to, like, find a percentage of actual detachment rate. That's what we need to find. Which is fucking fantastic. If you discover something with someone, but at the same time, if you have a hard time detaching, then they're motivating you at the same time. And yes, it will take a certain amount of motivation. That's very interesting. That is fucked up, though. Holy shit, that is fucked up, man. So, but that is so... It's getting deeper and deeper now. Man, this problem is disgusting. What do I do? Because think about it this way. I liked Ariana Grande. She definitely made me motivated to watch the entire thing of her acting career. Let's see, in Victorious, I watched the entire 4 seasons simply because she acted in this thing. And, but I had to detach myself a little bit and only watch the series if I actually liked it. That's the fucking difference. You have no choice. For example, I like Selena Gomez too, but I did not like Wizards of the Waverly Place enough to actually watch it fully. But Victoria's was a little bit more likable for me. Maybe it's my taste, maybe I just got tired of watching shows. But for some reason, I liked Victoria's a lot more. Like, I got so into it. And the Visitors of the Waverly Place didn't even, like, feature Selena Gomez that much, which is kind of frustrating, too. So, very interesting. But then we're talking about completely different success rates. Because I watched the entire show there, and I didn't watch the entire show the other time. So, what happened there? How do I evaluate it? Why is it the same value? Well, it is the same value because the show itself now has some kind of value. You just take a percentage of that value because you introduced someone to that thing. What you do in that community, it's up to you now. But you have to pay the fine for entering that community, for getting an entry. Which almost introduces another concept. What if the community was closed and someone has to not just introduce you to the community, but to the entry point? How much that entry point cost to you? How much would they charge you for it? What the fuck, man? And this stuff actually exists. It makes things so complicated. Like, you can join the exclusive Andrew Tate community if you want. The War Room. It's very expensive, but potentially it's very influential, so as long as you can evaluate influence, which is hard to do, but I'm doing it to some extent, maybe, but then it's so oh, fuck me, dude. Fuck me in the ass. So, I think you can definitely dedicate the first day to someone introducing, as I've said, this 8 hours, and then it reduces. But what if it's just a movie? You watched a movie once. What do you do then? Well, I watched Keanu Reeves' movie, not The Matrix. I watched The Matrix too, but I watched the Knock Knock. And there was a cute girl in there that was a prominent movie star that I didn't know about, but now I know. Ana de Armas, okay. I wouldn't even care. You know, she would be completely invisible as like some random celebrity, but because now I watched the movie, Keanu takes a percentage for introducing her to me, for making me care, because that's how life works, basically. As long as enough friends care about something, you will now be motivated simply because your friends cared for some reason. Who knows, right? It's a fucking chain event, basically. Never-ending chain event. That's what makes things viral, boys. We figured it out. Because your friends likes it. Yeah. Congratulations. Something very interesting happened in the Knock Knock movie, actually. There were 2 girls, and one of them did not succeed. But there's no difference. Still, there is no fucking difference because the value is percentage. It's still constant. If the other person did not succeed, you will get no value from that. Simple, right? If Ana de Armas does succeed, you will get a percentage of that. It's still going to be very constant value. It doesn't matter how big she becomes. You are very much that middleman that deserves a portion of that value. But what is that portion? Fuck. How do you define something like that? I mean, we're gonna solve fucking so many problems if we just figure out principles, enough principles, because I know that's what I need to do. Just keep finding principles. But you now can see, like, how difficult it is. Like, wow. Unbelievable. Not clickbait, dude. I think this stuff is very important to understand. I think you have to dismiss shops a little bit because these are platforms, these are communities. They have to be closer to 50% and not closer to the value that we're looking for, unfortunately. Because this is completely different. Alright, these are profits and they belong to the community and they take it from you because you decided that you like the shop. Okay, you want to be a part of this community. Alright? But the being inside of a community, running the show, is completely different. And to be honest, Hearthstone itself, every single fucking game, I don't know why they not do it, but we exposed something very substantial. Alright? Do you feel? Can you predict what I'm gonna say? Bam! And most importantly, game, because, like, they're not doing that. And they're very profitable, I'm sure. They have stuff to share over there. Holy fuck. And the best thing they can share is, like, runestones. They created this runestone thing on Hearthstone. Everyone's complaining about it. They might as well fucking use it for that purpose alone. To just send free money to the creators. In terms of just runestones. Fuck it, dude. Might as well make it tradable to begin with. To be able to send runestones to another account. Fucking fantastic. That would be fantastic, dude. But Hearthstone is fucking small-brained garbage people. They're too slow. But that's the problem. Ideas move like lightning speed. And then you have turtles that are companies trying to chase those ideas. It's a hard time, okay? I can get as angry as I want, but the turtle is not gonna get faster because I'm angry at the turtle. I just have to sit here and fucking wait. And keep flashing my flashlight as like, over here, turtle! Here's my fucking awesome idea, which you have to listen to every single day of your life. Yes. Because you're going towards this idea, right? And if you're not going towards the idea, then I will make sure that the community is angry as they can be and make the light even brighter for the turtle. I'm sure the turtle wouldn't resist going towards the light and not towards the darkness. Like, who would do that, you know? I'm just saying. Unless it's a stupid suicidal turtle that actually knows what he's doing. Let's not make things complicated. No. This is amazing. I love it when I just pick up a topic, I'm trying to solve a problem, and I find more problems. No, I find solutions, honestly. But it's weird. It's complicated. But you can figure out for yourself, I guess. What you can't figure out for yourself is that stupid fucking number. So let's read, maybe this will help. Alright, because the problem with shops is that we figured it out. It's a community. But what I thought was the problem is that the margin should have been like around 20%, and I would agree with that. Because they're the ones referring to the, they're the ones putting it on the shelves and advertising it for people. But apparently I don't think that's how it works, but yeah, because it doesn't work this way, because it's a platform. They deserve a lot more because they're dedicated towards showing you the products all the time. It's a completely different thing. Because if you're dedicated, like, you function a completely different way than a normal person, a normal influencer. So let's find out, what do influencers get for recommending products. They're not shops, okay? They're just people who are trusted for whatever reason. Let's find out. Why is Google not giving me the fucking number already? Why do I have to read books? Holy shit, it's a lot of reading. I hate it. I know other people read faster than I do because I'm angry all the time when I have to actually do it. This is very significant. 4 times more like, I need to know 4 point what? You can't just say 4. It's too small of a number. If it was like 40 times, then I would be like, okay. But still I would question, is it 42 maybe? Is it 40? Is it 39? Because you rounded up maybe? But if I hear 42, then I know it's the right answer. But, 4 times is a very rough thing, but okay. So we're talking about 25%? But it's like 4 times more. So we're not taking reference of 100%. We're taking reference of some imaginary number that I don't know, and saying it's 4 times more than that. Yeah, I'm having a hard time right now. Anything else you can say? Having friends is a very interesting concept because I don't know what friends are. But I would guess having friends is like having a lot of random people that you know that have different lives, completely different lives. Because you're not related in any way for your interest in anything. You just kind of became friends because you were desperate to connect. That's kind of how I believe it is, based on the friendships that I had. So, yeah, if someone is, you will trust your friends because you know them very well. There's like a high trust thing going on here. If you influenced, you will, I don't know, dude. It's disgusting. Yeah, they should have just said how likely a person is to buy something, and then how many. Then I will know what is that actual difference. But they didn't. They're teasing me so bad right now. I was almost there. I almost struck gold, and they just show me a middle finger instead. And he says, well, the gold is certainly in that direction. I would slap him in the face with my ass. Traveling in 100 kilometers per second, dude. I don't know, dude. It sucks. Yeah, another thing about friendship and trusting strangers is that most of the time they don't really want anything from you. They're just talking about life that they live. If you get that vibe, then you will trust them a lot more. You can still be tricked that way, but that's kind of usually how we feel about it. Like if it's just a part of your life and you referring to something you liked, and you're just a completely random person who's gonna get nothing out of it, we kind of understand that you will get something out of it. You will be putting out your story and feel relevant because you have discovered something, and it could make you even more relevant if you discovered something very valuable. You should not be forgotten for that, but maybe I've forgotten a few people already. I don't know, dude. I remember I discovered that Google has a channel, a YouTube channel, which is kind of awkward. And I discovered it through TikTok. So now I have to link that as well. I'll keep this on my list. I don't know, dude. This is getting ridiculous. I just need just a stupid number. Just tell me you should use 5% all the time and shut the fuck up. Someone has to say that to me, and I will believe them, because they're my friend. Oh, if this story actually has a happy ending, then you already know the number, and you're like pissing on my face by watching this video. But this is the extent that I had to go through. It's fucking fantastic, isn't it? This is interesting. If we take, I don't know. There's the x plus 50, and if we divide it by 2, we get the number in between these numbers, which is 70 divided by 2, which was 70, so it must be 20%. I think we got it, boys. How do I know this? Shut the fuck up, dude. Word of mouth is the primary factor. So word of mouth is reference. His ability to refer to something. Alright? To mention something, to whatever, right? To spread the disease, basically. Yeah, I think COVID also spreads because of word of mouth and not actual mouths. I'm sorry, guys. I watch too much TikTok. Yeah, it's very interesting. The reason why I say 20%, because 50% we already know is about being a part of the community. So 50% is that factor, is the maximum factor almost imaginable, which is already setting the bar. But there's also another factor that pulls the number down. And it's not necessarily 20% just because this is 20%. It drags this number down just enough to make it between these two numbers, but there's only one number that can create a number between these two numbers, and it is this number. You know, behind, you know, it says a range, but there's only two numbers that can create this. So we got it. It's 20%. And it's a very similar thing that what we discovered towards the rate of this interest. Technically, the rate of detachment is a very simple formula. It's 8 into 4 into 2 into 1, and it keeps going and it becomes 16. And actually that doesn't work. Unfortunately, 8 actually has to go 4 times higher into 32. How can it do that? Well, let's figure it out. I don't know. What is the rate then? I don't know how to calculate. I know that this stuff exists. I believe it's called the limit. I don't know how to calculate the limit though. And honestly, I don't care that much. You can do it manually, but manually it's very difficult. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if I should calculate it. Just 20% sounds very nice. I can't even get the formula for 842, just adding numbers. Why? There's no formula for that? See what I'm talking about? It's too complicated. Like, just by looking at this picture, I should be able to figure out what the limit is, but I can't. Because math is still stupid. And some people are stupid enough to think that they understand math, but they don't understand how to explain math. And just because you fucking put formulas together doesn't mean that it's related to the real world examples. That's the problem, okay? People just detach themselves from reality and nothing happens anymore. Alright? It's just useless all of a sudden, still. Sucks to be me, man. So I'm gonna just attempt to read the rest of this stuff, because we just found our number. I just want to know how to do the limit thing. Wait, we're kind of close. If we go to 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3, we're kind of close. I think I got close enough. It has to be 25%. Whatever that means. The interest reduction rate or detachment rate, 25%. I'll just put it out there. It's kind of interesting. That's another way to say it. Let's say you move at a speed of 5%, and if you every single step you slow down by 25%. I'm not sure if this is correct. Yeah, this is correct. Yeah, do this. It's just that's not how I would do it. I would say you have to divide by this number. 1333. Yeah, it's a stupid number. Stupid. I don't know. I hate percentages. So this doesn't really work for me, but so you move at 5% speed, you reduce it by this every single step, and you will eventually stop at 20%. That's how you reach a limit. It's very interesting. Which means you can understand why I put 5% here. See, that's the funny thing. And it's probably ugly to not put percent here as well. See, the funny thing is like, yeah, that's how I feel about it. But I don't see the invisible hand of the influence still being attached to the thing after the initial introduction, because there's still that bond between those two things. So if my friend introduces me to Hearthstone, I will still question my friend, what does he like about Hearthstone? There's a few questions that come up that will influence a lot more things to come, or just the way you get introduced. All of these little factors, they still have to fade away. And yes, you might look back in time and say, oh, it's just 5%. But no, because it takes time to fade away. Now, I don't know why this is a thing. This is just a random number still. It could mean like 5% will go to 6%. You can go to any percent anyways. So I literally just explained nothing. Alright? 20% is still a random number. 5% is also a little bit random. So, sorry for that. Whoops. Yeah, it's very complicated. Everything is complicated. I'm surprised you're watching this, so congratulations. See, it's very interesting because this is like probably deeply researched number that we just found. I would assume it's really tough to just assume it and pretend that it's true, but like it feels that way. Like the source is like full of numbers, so I have to assume like these are serious things. the reason why this number is very interesting is because normally people may not get what they deserve, and for referring to products, you might not get that much value out of it. You might not even get that 20%, but I don't know right now. It would still mean something to me, and it would be quite significant thing, because this 20% is entangled in this mess, because I'm singling out this number right now. But yeah, like, this is the true value of word of mouth. The true value. It's not just what you get paid for, but it's the real value that you're delivering to the company when you, or an entity or anything, when you refer to that entity. There's another even more precise number, 16%. The lifetime value of a new referral customer is higher than your average customer. Average customer means like completely random source, everything just super ultimate random. But new referral customer. Why did they put new, by the way? What the fuck is that? Because that throws me off a little bit. Like, what the fuck is this shit? So I assume referral customer versus average customer, 16% value, because it's referral customer. Very interesting, right? Very much the number that I'm looking for right now. Holy shit. Thank you, Google. You did it again. You referred me to a website instead of trying to answer the question yourself. Stupid fucking Google. The funny thing is, there's probably a lot of referral customers, so the average customer actually reduces. I think it reduces, because it goes to the average, right? If it's higher, it will reduce. If it's lower, it will increase. Because referral customers, there's so many of them. Because they're still a part of the average customer pool. That's the problem. This is why I can't trust this number either. Because I don't know what the fuck this means, man. Is referral customer separated or a part of average customer group? Which is it? It matters. It should be inside. And then it's very complicated. Now, how many referral customers are there? What is the percentage? Because I need to know exactly how much higher. But this number is kind of satisfying to look at, because it's like 20%, 15%, that's kind of very close. But still not it, man. Still not hitting the exact target of what I want. God damn it. Oh, they just did it. Just in a different way. Which is, actually separating them is the best thing you can do. Referred customer, finally, not a new referred customer. They literally fixed it in the next sentence. They probably realized how stupid they are. Immediately. Fucking fantastic. It's just, instead of fixing the problem, they just like, well, this is the fixed version. The newest version of Minecraft, guys. Download it right now. We did it. 25%. 25%. This is it. Lifetime value, by the way. Lifetime motherfucking value. And that's why I'll give 20%. Because there's probably motivation factors inside this thing as well. There's a little bit of motivation factor if, like, you want to play it with your friends, that little game. It's a thing. It's definitely a thing. So I'll give it 20%. I think we settle down with 20%. You guys already know. Why the fuck did you watch this? You wanted to see me angry again. How dare you? Now I'm angry on you. How dare you watch this video? Holy shit, man. Just in case I will read the rest, in case I get some kind of insights. I mean, there's not much to read anyways. I guess this number is also very interesting. Referred customer is 18% more loyal than other customers. Which is like very interesting. Like, why would you be so motivated? This is now motivation factor. But at the same time, loyalty doesn't mean lifetime value. Alright. This is kind of awkward number to work with. I don't know what to do with it. Loyalty? What is that? I think this is a hilarious statement. 4 times, by the way. Referred customers are 4 times more likely to refer more customers. Fucking avalanche, dude. 4 times more likely. But it's probably not a big difference anyways. You can't rule the world with this statement. This is also very interesting. The retention rate comes from just the attachment to the actual reference, right? Again, if I want to watch a Keanu Reeves movie, I just watch it because of Keanu Reeves, dude, and not much else. But I can't help it. I might be triggered to explore something else that Keanu Reeves hints at or has in his movie. You know, anything can happen, and I'm all of a sudden finding myself following a completely different person. So that's the retention rate, guys. Or it could just mean that I'm very good at following people, and the moment I start following someone else, I have a higher retention rate because I'm just doing that, because that's what reference cult is all about, guys. It's all about following and having retention rate. I don't know, man. You can see how one thing can mean so many things, or have many reasons. But usually all of them are true, so that's also very interesting. This is also a very good number. Advocacy marketing, or whatever this means. It's probably related to referral thing. Are achieving significant revenue gains. So 10 to 20% for established products. That's nice. And 100% for new products, up to. Why is it up to? Come on. Give me a range again so I would know. But then you have like a 15% plus, you know, something. So 15% is like the average. And new products. Just interesting. It's interesting. How do I evaluate a new product? And it's almost like if it would be a new entity in my list, I wouldn't give a fuck if you get 100% value out of that product. But you can only take 50% because this is increase. Percentages are so stupid, by the way. They're so stupid sometimes. When you increase, it's more like you get 50% of value. So awkward, man. Yeah, what you have to understand, like, you already have 100% by default, but there's that other 100% that comes from referrals, right? So it's 50% in general for new products. And for alt products, it's a little bit different. You would have to do something like this. And like this. Shit. God damn it. I don't... Oh, okay. 13%. But I still don't know. It's like, now I need to know how many new products there are versus established products. But then how many new products actually matter? I don't care. I just now know that it's higher than 13%. That's all I know, guys. 13% is base value. So 20% is decent. If it's more than 30%, 13%, and definitely less than 30%, well, it's quite safe to say it's 20. I would like to see more numbers like that, though. Like this. But, I mean, I already said what numbers I actually like. Yeah, the lifetime value. Like, there's no better way to put this sentence together. Like, this is it. This is ingrained into stone. Again, you still have to be mindful that there's motivation factor on top of that. That people keep on telling you, you should be doing that, you should be buying that. Keep on telling you that. Even after you discover something. And that kind of matters to some degree. Normally just people should have full freedom for everything. And they kind of do. And it almost doesn't matter how many good things you say about something. It just doesn't matter, because the person just sees it for itself and for what value they want. They might squeeze out of that object, you know. Obviously, if you... But it still doesn't matter. That shit doesn't matter, dude. Unfortunately. The motivation factor, I don't know, man. That's like tiny shit. It's there... by any means. If you make me play more Hearthstone, I just have to give you some points for that. There's no other way around it. But almost, motivation factor is like calculated completely differently based on how long you have been playing, specifically because the person asks you to do it. Because if you discover something, then you do it because you want it. But if you're getting motivated, that's completely different than discovery. Okay, so that's why there has to be like a very specific value, and motivation is separated because it does not have a specific value. So I think we did it. 20%, boys. I'll settle down with that. That changes a lot. So the video is not over until I put all those 20% everywhere where it belongs. Oh God, that's a lot. 20% is a lot. Holy shit. 1/5? 20% of... It's 2,000. It works. It works, because the biggest Hearthstone creator has 2,000 points. It works perfect. I agree with 20%. Game over, boys. You can't tell me nothing, dude. You can't disagree on this number ever. I will win this battle. I'm ready. Alright, I know there's a lot of people out there that will disagree with me on this number, but now I got this. Alright? There's like 1% of a person that will disagree with me. And I will defend myself very eagerly. You have no idea. There's a bonus problem that I just don't care about. It's like, shouldn't it be both ways? You discover something and that kind of creates a discovery backwards, because you discover that they like that thing that has influenced them this whole time. Well, fuck that. I don't care about that. Let's say it's 0%. So, Linkiano Anarmas. I gave her 15%. 0. Get the fuck out of here. But technically, they spend time together. I don't know. It's probably not going to be 0, but it is 0. No, the fact that they spend time together, it kind of matters. I can give 1% for sure. But that's such a big question now. What? What is this? This is more of a link percentage. Like, you know these things are linked and they have collaborated together. I'll give 1%. That's fine. Like, she doesn't actually deserve Keanu's value because I didn't discover Keanu, first of all. It's a big deal. Yeah. 1%. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy that thingy. It can happen. It can happen. Like AdventureCraft has a lot of maps in there, and I don't know all the maps. But I will not separate like a map into a separate entity. I'll just, have AdventureCraft as a whole thing with a bunch of maps. Tons and tons of maps and content. So what happens if someone refers me to the map? What do I do then? Well, I just reduce the reference link. As the only time I can do it, I can reduce that 20% into how many maps I have played that are this influential. So if it's a good map, but I played like 10 maps, they're also good, maybe it's just gonna be 2%. And that's it. Referral. And I have to constantly monitor in case I play more maps. It's not that difficult, to be honest. Yeah, seems fair, and it's a very rare occasion that I will use this on, so I'll still mention it as an exception, an actual exception, which I tried to mention before. There is one exception in which that's another way to say it. A piece of an entity you already know. Alright. I almost wanted to say that about Google, because it has like a YouTube channel that I never discovered, but someone let me discover it. Now we're just gonna link it up. But now I'm just decided Google is gonna be that YouTube channel and not the entirety of Google that controls YouTube itself, which it's too big. I can't use it as an entity, unfortunately. I forgot very important point. That's very important. Oh, this hurts. When you deal with percentages, the actual value that actually increased, that you have ownership of, so 24% higher value, you created value, so what is the actual value that you own is different than the value that you increased, alright? So again, you have to divide by 25%, then you realize it's 20% value, then it's fuck suck, man. It's lower than 20%, unfortunately. But I'll just ignore that. Fuck me, dude. The problem is, it's probably 18%, it's not exactly 20. but I'll just, you know, I'll just pretend it's also a motivating factor somewhere in there. Or it doesn't exist, or it's not a problem. Fuck me, dude. I really forgot about this part. Holy shit. That is scary. Ariana would have won the competition. It hurts so bad. Because she has a lot of discoveries. Like, 4 people giving her at least 50 points. Oh my god. 200 points in total. Selena does not have that. I mean, probably not. I look back into this statement and it actually sounds stupid, because it's like, when people discover, they're motivated because they're motivated and nothing else. They don't have to even be paid for it. If the product is good, it already has its own value, and you don't have to share revenue. But it would still be a very good incentive, but it would make things fake again. But then the game is fake, because we think it's like, well, game is trying to be as profitable as possible. Sometimes we think that. And the revenue share would probably be more effective, not towards big creators that already have a lot of money, but as a motivating factor to actually make content and refer as many people as possible and paint the game into as positive light as possible. I don't know, this is a problematic thing, and instead of giving it a star, I'll give a broken heart, dude. Let's go with that. Because I don't know what to think about this. I just got angry, and excited, but honestly, it's a much more complicated issue than I thought. This thing, I call it the heat level, but solo heat. Okay. Solo heat, but honestly, now it doesn't work as heat that well. It makes very little sense as heat, but it does make a lot of sense as experience in a way, because it's not related to heat that much. Unless it's cold, then for some reason you get more experience. I don't know why. I don't know. I might change the name, but I'm just still wondering about this. I don't know. For a long time, TikTok has been dominating over me, but I guess times has changed. Whoops. No more will I feel the wrath of TikTok. Fuck you. I guess the most important thing to understand is that anyone can work as a community. Alright, a sub-community out of just reference community, you know? Just refer as many people as possible. Because that's the thing. You will still get 20%, and that seems legit. You shouldn't get 50% because these people are not working for you. They're not dedicating their lives for you. But 20% sounds about right. But I guess I'm, again, trying to relate unrelatable things. But it still feels like a community. Let me tell you why. Let's say I go into Anicia on Discord, and he has a community. And I will discover people. But he himself, he's not something that other people, you know, spend their entire lives just dedicated, just doing Onision things. No, they just hang around for no reason. They don't know where else to go. Technically, that's, you know, you can see that the connection anyways. It's like, why are you here, right? Shouldn't you be in some kind of actual community? It's very interesting dynamic. I don't know, but that's how it's a weird way to find things. You don't sometimes you don't actually. Well, there's so many ways to find. It's not just like I create a chat room or something. It's just so many ways to refer to other people. So, but it does feel very similar, I would say. But it has to be lesser value because you're really not putting that much work. You're just pointing a finger. Oh, I'm influenced by this person, or just even letting the person exist in your community, in your chat room that you created. I don't know, it's crazy. I said community, but it's kind of weird. Yeah, another way you can look at it is like, what if you find a person that plays Hearthstone but doesn't actually play Hearthstone? You only found it because maybe you were battling against him, but he doesn't, dedicate his life towards Hearthstone. And Hearthstone is not main focus like mine is. It's not main focus, it's the highest influence, but it's not main focus. Still, Hearthstone will get that 20%. I think 20% is legit. When you think about it, that it's somehow related to community, the idea that this 50% can be reduced into 20%, I think it's a bad idea. I think you have to approach it from the idea that this 20% just exists as a number in the universe somewhere. It's like the number of gravity itself. It's supported by some kind of principles that we don't yet understand. I tried my best, but that's the end of the video. That's the best I can do. Yeah, it's an actually valuable concept, not some kind of math thing, but it's definitely a logical problem that seems fun to solve. But that's as best as I could have done. So, thank you guys for watching. Bye.